Welcome back, folks. I'm Frizz, and today I'd like to take some time to talk about power escalation. With literally every single game or system where new content gets added over time, power escalation is a concern because naturally, over years of new content, eventually something is going to end up being the new best thing. Thankfully, Paizo has been really good about this with Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and I've clearly been keeping it in mind, but let's take some time to talk about the Treasure Vault. So, the Treasure Vault introduced a truly insane amount of options for PCs to use, and obviously some of those are going to be better than others. Generally, though, I don't want to give the impression that Paizo has wrecked the balance of 2E or anything. Rather, whenever you just introduce this many options to any game, there will inevitably be standouts for less than stellar reasons. First off, I want to talk about the one item from the entire book that is the most extreme example of power creep that I can think of. The Cassissian helm. It's a common level 6 item that gives you a +1 status bonus to AC and saving throws against evil creatures and effects. It can also shoot out super cool eye lasers, which I love, but the status bonus is actually insane. Status bonuses to AC and saving throws are the least common type of bonus in the game, so this level 6 item is likely to apply in most fights against evil creatures. Also, in most typical campaigns, it's pretty reasonable to expect to be fighting evil creatures at least half the time, and sometimes this can be way more common in certain campaigns. This helmet is just too good. Now, the reason why this matters is because while I do genuinely think that most people don't always go for the most optimal choices or anything, whenever some options are clearly better than others, stuff can get complicated. Like, if you choose to not get a Cassissian helmet and then your character dies to a critical hit that would have been prevented by that status bonus, that's gonna feel terrible. Plus, the more and more like a meta develops, the more people get really argumentative about games, and that creates a more toxic atmosphere. Like, I've already spoken with people who think that you're better off playing a fighter with the barbarian archetype than just playing a barbarian, which I absolutely disagree with. And items like this getting added are just going to make that kind of conversation more common. I just don't want people telling other people that they're wrecking their character by not buying a silly winged helmet. Now, speaking of balancing things and some options just being better than others, I think that it's pretty well known at this point that Electric Arc is the best cantrip in the entire game. Seriously, it outdamages every other damaging cantrip. It is a bit silly. And now, with the new Jolt Coil spell heart, every spellcaster can cast it as much as they want for a mere 60 gold. You don't have to be an arcane or primal spellcaster. So that raises the question. If every spellcaster can cast Electric Arc, then why aren't they now? Well, there's a bunch of incredibly valid reasons, like just not wanting to do it or that it doesn't fit your character. But simply introducing the Jolt Coil makes that discussion around, like, balancing Electric Arc a lot more complicated, because, like, well, it's no longer a problem, right? Because everyone can get it. So why do we need to adjust other damaging cantrips? For the record, I'm really happy that the Jolt Coil exists, because I like being able to access cantrips that I think would be cool for my character, but it's silly how much better Electric Arc is when compared to other damaging cantrips. For the record, I don't want Electric Arc to be nerfed or something. Rather than Electric Arc being too powerful, I think that in general, damaging cantrips just aren't good enough, and I would like to see them get buffed to be on Electric Arc's level. I have no idea how exactly to do that, but using good spells is always more fun than using mediocre spells, and just spamming Electric Arc is boring and gets old very, very fast. Anyway, those are the two best examples that I can think of potential power scaling issues from the Treasure Vault. I'm not really concerned about 2E having a real power scaling problem. I mean, there's always going to be items that are better than others, that's just natural, but I don't want for that design to become the norm or to be what is expected from new books. The Treasure Vault was filled with a bunch of situationally useful items and incredibly fun designs, and I'm really happy that I'm playing a system where I can use those items that are not objectively the strongest and not be screwing over my character. So that is honestly one of my favorite things about 2E, is that I can use basically whatever, and I'm not crippling my character. Thanks for watching. I really do like the treasure vault, but power scaling in particular is something that I've been wanting to talk for a while now, and the Cassissian helmet was a great example. So what do you think about the treasure vault, and do you think that there is anything that I missed that is way too good? Let me know in a comment down below, and subscribe or something while you're down there. Regardless, until I see you next, live a wonderful life.